Welcome everyone to the Goddess Temple. My name is Chris, and for today's video, you're coming into this place where you're being asked to direct and to be intentional with where you set your attention, with what you are building. And you are building something that is of your highest alignment, of your highest pursuit, of your highest integration with yourself. And it's not just that you yourself are guiding you towards this path. There is a lot of forces around you as well. Cosmic forces that are here available, ready to support you and to help you facilitate the journey so you can experience what you're here to experience. Now, this is more of a focus on the journey itself and the intention that you set, and to continue to refocus your mind, refocus your body, adjust your activities, your behaviors, your desires, just directing yourself in a way that it teaches you to move differently than the way that you have been doing it. So you yourself are also putting in the work, meeting the external forces, the cosmic forces around you to facilitate, to bring forward this desire, this force, this creativity, this expression that wants to live. There is this idea that you have. The thing is, this idea, it's not being asked to be brought to life right here, right now. The focus being your attention onto it. Just the fact that you're even thinking about it. Just the fact that you're taking small actionable steps to getting to that place. That's the focus. The focus is on you taking the little steps and also meeting life around you, this cosmic world around you, that is also helping you. You're not the only one putting into this. There's other forces that are also putting into this common vision, this common sight. And so all of you coming together and playing in this little place, you get to create and build and facilitate this heavenly environment for all of life to thrive without judgment, without belittling it, without feeling like you need to tear and rip it apart. None of that. Because even the most destructive forces, and so what I mean by that is the Kali energy, right? The concept of Kali, the concept of Lilith. And these forces, these cosmic dances that these archetypes, these energies, these goddesses have, and I know Lilith was not a goddess, but it's these archetypes, these stories, they talk about the force within us that will completely dissolve all parts of the internal makings, all parts of the falsehood that's existing, and to show the truth, the highest truth, the most aligned truth that allows for life to exist. So this destruction acts like a fertilizer. And why am I being guided towards this destruction? Well, it's this destruction, it takes away everything that isn't working, everything that's been a bit too dense and a bit too rigid, that hasn't allowed for room and space for this creation, this desire, this impulse to exist with a lot of life. And it's that life that is coming back on. It's that life that is coming to live, to be lived, to be experienced not only by you. This is not a selfish thing. This isn't only for you. No, you are doing this also for others to enjoy, to have, to savor. but it's also you enjoying it for yourself. Without your life into it, without your energy, joy, pleasure, excitement into it, you give it nothing. There is nothing that fuels it and brings it online. It just becomes stagnant. It's the very same as a partner that is in a relationship. So a couple in a relationship, and it's just one partner that wants something, that does it, that shows up, that creates, that gives. And the other one is just kind of passive with it and doesn't meet them. Right? This is not being reciprocal. And so it's not only this cosmic force that is facilitating here, putting in the work. There has to be also you. Without you also putting in that work, it's not going to happen. Just right now, it's a little bit easier for you to assess and tune into that capacity that is working through you, that capacity of the cosmic world that is helping you to build, to foster this dream, this vision. It's going to be a bit more potent for you to work with other people around you. You're going to see that all of a sudden, there's going to be more people around you wanting to come in, create, and bring together, bring forward this force, this energy. And so for you to really step into that, lean into it. Yes, you are going to be met by a lot of discomforts, a lot of stories, limitations, ideologies of, am I actually good enough for this? Is this enough? Why am I doing this? You're going to have a little bit of that back and forth happening. Just know that this back and forth that's happening, this is that very same dark feminine energy. This darkness, this shadow, this truth bearing energy that will show you what you are working with without it being unapologetic with the fact that it's showing you with some harshness. It is truthful, it is harsh. However, it is harsh because it's confronting. And something that is confronting does not mean it is to rip you and shred you apart. No. It will be also compassionate. There is also a compassionate factor to that. And it's always existing, the compassionate factor. But it's up to you to see that. It's up to you to open yourself up to seeing and noticing that. So truthfully, lean into yourself. Notice what is wanting to work through you, what is wanting to be worked in this time, in this space. And to meet all these little parts that are here to be birthed, to be put into. So it's not the ending of, it's not the destination, of course, as we all hear. It's not the flower itself that's already been bloomed, but it's the process of, you're past the point of putting in the seed. You've already started seeing the seed sprout, and it's your feeding into that sprout. You're creating the external environment so it's easier for that to grow, to blossom, to bloom. And the thing is, it's not only you that's in this, working on this. There's going to be other people that are going to come in all of a sudden, whether it be friends, family, and they're going to kind of join in. To whatever degree, they're going to join in, but they're going to be there to help support you as well. So you can put in a little bit more energy into it. So you'll be more inspired to put in energy into it, into this thing that you are creating. I want you to focus on the fact that at this very time, yes, you have a lot of people coming in. The thing is, because this is the time, this is the potency that you're stepping into, because that there's people coming in to help you out, there's also going to be people knocking on your door saying, hey, why aren't you looking at me? Why aren't you putting into this? Why aren't you putting into us? What about me? All of that that you've been putting into, because you've extended yourself. You've actually overextended yourself. And so at this time, you're being asked to evaluate what your relationships are, what those dynamics are, what's the capacity to it, because you have to also understand that it's reciprocal. So if one person's putting into the relationship, is the other one showing up as well? And if they're not, then to step them away and to meet them exactly where they are. So this means potentially dialing down all that energy and effort that you're putting into them, because it's not being put back into you. And because of that, you're learning about where your boundaries are, where you have overstretched yourself, and how you want to be met, where you want to be met, to even ask to be met in that space. And I know it sucks. You're having to ask someone, hey, can you meet me here? I know we've played this way that we have, but you know what? I actually need you here right now. And I know how challenging that can be at times. Sometimes, you've been the one that's held it all together, that's figured it out, that's made it work. But right now, you just need to kind of come back into you, come back into yourself, take back just a little bit of what you put out, bring it back in. And when you get to bring it back in, you get to see and hear where and how you want to put your energy, your attention, your love, your focus into. And also where and who is available to help support you, to help lift you up. The thing is, this doesn't mean that the people that have been taking too much from you, they're gonna leave. The way that they step away from you in your dynamic, in your relationship, it's gonna look different. And just knowing that there's going to be more space available. So this is the potent time for you to draw that space. It's just that you're not going to have them in your environment poking at you as frequently as they used to. There's going to be more space. And this is going to require you to step up and be more stern with who you let in and who you don't. And say, you know what? Too much is too much. That's enough. You're going to have to draw that clear boundary. Please do it discerningly, okay? Assess your situation. You know how to approach it. You also know to what degree and extent that you're willing to take it. And so for you to listen to that, okay? So to listen to it and to do it as far as you possibly can without breaking yourself. Because if this confrontation is causing you so much distress, pull it back in, okay? Because that's not the point of this. The point is really being balanced enough, meeting an edge, and then coming back to yourself. Pushing a little bit and then coming back. But not to overly do it. Because when you do too much, too quickly, it's so disorienting to the nervous system. It can break your psyche. Right? Everything just becomes so confusing. You're like, I don't know what to focus on. What is, I don't know what to focus on. And it takes away. It takes away from you. And that's not the point. Right? The point isn't to take away from you. So this other little part that I want to bring you towards is focusing on where you have put yourself secondary. Now, yes, you have a big heart. Yes, you want to help support people in all the way possible. Of course, that's what we're taught. We're taught to give, to be of service, to be available. My hair does not want to listen right now, but let's keep going. So you want to be available, you want to be a supportive, you want to be, of course, helpful, right? You are available for this. You're available for yourself, and you're also available for people too. But the thing is, there's somewhere right now that you are valuing your availability to someone else over where you want to go, over yourself. And it's pulling that back in. Taking back the energy that you have put out back in towards yourself. You have given too much energy and focus to one thing and forgot about yourself. This also could be of you remembering that, you know what? I said I wanted to do this thing. I did it. And this person as well said they wanted to do this thing. They did it. But then you realize that you have overgiven into that dynamic more than they have. I notice I'm repeating myself from the beginning, but let's keep going. So there's that noticing that you are giving more than the person is putting in. You're noticing that, wait, something is off. I can't move forward and try to build onto something that they're not even on the same page on. Their focus and attention is somewhere else. It's not here where yours is at, or where you both have verbally agreed to your focus being here. And so you're realizing, wait, this dynamic isn't the way that you both thought it was. And it's understanding that verbally there is a miscommunication, a misunderstanding of each other's definition of a situation, of a meaning, of a dynamic. And it's clearing that up. I feel like right now it's also more of you're clearing up the energies. You're clearing up the words that you use, your confrontations, your storylines. You're clearing up all of these little places of nuance, right? Nuances being more individualized interpretations and understandings of a situation, the complexities of it. And you're starting to understand that you coming together with this person, it's a bit more complex, right? That there's differences. And it's you sitting down and having that conversation. It also could be that right now you're available and ready and wanting to have that conversation. But this person isn't. For them, it's not a thing. They don't know how to, and it's not a thing. So you're like, am I giving too much here? Do I need to take a step back? The decision to take a step back might be necessary just so you can evaluate and see what you are creating, what's actually happening, because it allows you to make more informed decisions moving forward, right? So this time could be that you're learning to take a look at everything that's here. So removing that confusion, that veil, and you're actively, presently looking at everything that's laid out in front of you and noticing that your energy matters, your attention matters. Someone might be pulling at your attention because, and you're like, yes, of course they are. It makes sense. But then you realize that they're just pulling on it because they don't have the capacity to work through it. And so they're just holding on to you in that manner, just because. Now, you could hold this space for them to work on it, but it's not your responsibility to work on it for them. That's what you're pulling back in. That's who you're pulling back in. You're pulling yourself out of that mess, right? And you're coming back into yourself. You're settling back in. You're moving back into and through your groove and your own little world. The world that you're here building in a clean manner. And being more selective with who you let in. Because what you're building isn't just only to help you, but it's also to help people around you, your love, your family, community, this world, to leave a legacy. And so as you're building all of these little parts, you're realizing that, wait, I don't think I've been giving to myself. I don't think I've been showing up for myself. Let me do that. Let me take that very energy that I've been giving to this place, this other place, and let me give that energy to myself. What happens there? The moment you do that, that person realizes, notices, and they're like, wait, what just happened? Why are you pulling away from me? Thing is, even the most logical person is aware of things changing. They can feel something changing. It's so subtle, they're not able to articulate it, and yet they can notice it. And it's a continual practice to notice these little parts. They're subtle. Our bodies, the way our bodies navigate through this world, it's subtle. And it takes time. It takes time to reflect. It takes time to build, to understand those little parts. You're stepping back into yourself in a very subtle, slow way. In a very subtle way. When I say subtle, it feels like it's micro movements, micro shifts. The thing is, people around you or this relationship, this person, they may not notice all the things that you're doing. Because for you, you might be doing a lot. But for them, it's like it's happening slowly and gradually. And then they're like, wait, what just happened? How did you go from there to this? That doesn't make any sense. And for you to also meet them and say, you know what? I know that you haven't been active and present and engaged, but this is where I am. You haven't put into this in the way that you said that you would. You haven't been holding up your end of the deal. And at this point, it's not even that I stopped talking to you, but it's that I have asked you, I have confronted you, I have checked in, and you decided to just let it go, to not even put in a little bit of effort. At some point, you'll notice that you're just not available anymore. You're genuinely not available anymore to put into this dynamic, to put into this relationship, because it's important for you to be whole. You are learning and in the active process of reversing the effects of what a relationship, a dynamic has put into you. You are reversing those effects. Not only are you holding yourself accountable, but you're holding that person accountable. And because of that confronting nature, you are coming back into yourself. A lot of these little places that you have just let go and said you're going to deal with it later and not actively look at, it's coming back into yourself, right? You're saying, you know what? I'm going to look at it, because that is the work, right? And it's a two-way street. You've put in the work into a relationship, into a dynamic. They have too in their respective ways. They thought that they've showed up in that way, but when is it enough? And I'm not asking you to make a black and white decision, because it's not. It's more nuanced than that. There has to be a willingness from both parties to build and develop something. And the same applies for your body of work, for your authentic expression, for your authenticity, for yourself. We're taught how to build and develop and foster our relationships. We're taught what's right and wrong, but we don't look at our work. We don't look at our work like that. We don't approach our work like that. We don't approach our own lives like that. We don't even approach ourselves like that. When was the last time you put in the work to get to know yourself? To do something that you liked? To do something for you that you liked? When was the last time you did that? This potent time is for you to come back into yourself, to assess yourself, and to redirect it. It's not about ignoring your relationships around you, and it's not about ignoring yourself. Just to know that there is a way to live your life where your relationships are all satisfied, taken care of, acknowledged, and so are you. And not only that, but also your commitment to show up and to support this community, this society, this civilization, this time on earth. You're here for that too. For you to address all these multifaceted places to the degree that you want to the degree that you're called to. It's something that just, you can't stop thinking about it. There's a difference to a more dense, poor way of obsessive thinking to just feeling like, you know what, it feels good to think this way. It feels good to address something that I've ignored, to address and do the thing that I am called to do. Because you know what, if I do this thing, if I move in this direction, if I make this choice, then this person, this other thing is going to reject me and say bye, peace to me. No, that's not the case. Maybe it is. Okay, maybe it is. But even if it is, you're being called to address these limitations, these stories, these little what ifs, and truthfully lean into yourself and to say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to step in. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to address the thing that scares me the most. I am going to take care of this thing that I am called to do. And for you to listen, it does require you to spend that personal one-on-one time with yourself. And so please do take care of yourself. Please do build and foster your relationship with yourself. It's not about keeping the peace, being agreeable in situations and dynamics in life. It's not about that. There is a little something where it is you get to still exist, breathe, be held. That's necessary. And when you start to acknowledge that, you start to see, you know what? It's important for me to be in alignment to myself. I will be in alignment to and with myself. And when you learn to reattune yourself to your own core morals and values, to your own core values, you will see that the choices you make, the people that you let in your life, it all starts to change. And you see that the people that continue to show up in your life, it becomes different. And you realize that there's more richness in your life. And that you're more stable, grounded, and rooted. And for you to do and choose what you have been doing. Because I feel like this readjustment, this realignment, it's not something new, but you've been doing it for some time, and this is just reconfirming to you that continue to do and build the work, because you will find a whole other life, more than that you could have ever possibly imagined. So continue to build and grow and develop yourself in a way that you haven't done so before. I feel like the message is complete with that. I know I kind of ended off with a little bit of I don't know if it's just my own judgments, but I truthfully hope that this message has given you a little bit of clarity, a little bit of direction towards where you are going, where you are being directed. A little bit towards yourself, back to your mission, your path, your aligned path. I truthfully hope that this has given you the strength and the courage to make more aligned choices for yourself, to be more confronting in your life, to not have to feel like you need to put something aside and deal with it later, but that you can refocus and hold yourself and honor yourself at this time. And so with that little bit, I wish you guys all the best, and I will speak to you soon.